as the interviewee, what your interviewer is going to look at, they're going to want to know a little bit about yourself. And avoid focusing on the personal stuff. We do actually want to know a little bit about your personal life. You know, if you do have children, is your spouse also a physician? That may be helpful to know. So it is good to give a little bit of information on that topic, but just try to make it a little bit less, not just all about you. Focus on what makes you exceptional. Make sure and give the highlights of what you've done in your past and what you like to do. Be confident but not arrogant. Make sure responses, are measurable and realistic. We have had, a physician that has said that his skills are the best in the world. So, just don't overly exaggerate what your skills are, because that right there is not really measurable, for instance. Give some professional examples and, let them know what you've done. A lot of people are just coming right out of residency, so that may be a little bit difficult, but just give them some ideas of what you have, some examples, and also what your goals are. Why have you had X number of jobs in Y years? The work history is very important, and it is also important to say why you've had different jobs at you stayed at one location 2 years and then maybe you had to go to a different location. Maybe your spouse was in the military. That's a given. It also helps to show your employer that you're not jumping from job to job. There are always reasons. There's nothing wrong with moving from job to job. It's just the reasons that matter that we want to know about. What things do you not like to do? Be conservative in expressing your dislikes. Focus on the approach. Like you want to make sure and not say, well, I just don't like to work weekends, or I don't like to do this. You want to make sure that, look for the positive. Try to stay away from the negative, but, you can give what you like to do better than what you don't like to do. Try that approach. Things never to say. I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous, but try not to tell them that. Let's talk money. That is definitely going to be a subject, but don't make that your priority. Don't let them know or think that it's all about the money, because then they will feel like that's what your interest is just what can you pay me, and then they will also think that you're just looking for the next job that's going to be there. My weakness is I care too much or work too hard. Everybody's weakness is that they care too much and work too hard. We want to make sure that you don't think it's all about you, especially with the employer and doing that. I really need this job. Okay? That makes me sound like you're a little bit desperate, so we have to work on that. My current employer is horrible. So that makes me believe that you may say something about me as an employer. I'd rather not say. Okay, now that puts some doubt in my mind. If I'm asking you a question and you just say, I'd rather not say something about it, but don't just say, I'd rather not say. How much vacation do I get? If you're sitting in your first interview with your prospective employer and you're asking about vacation already, that just raises a red flag for the employer. Don't really tell them that you're going through rough times right now, because again, that makes you look a little bit desperate for that job. And then I don't have any questions for you. You always have some kind of question, even if they have gone over everything that you can think of. Before you get into that interview, have a list of questions. Write them down, have them ready, and so that you may forget what you're going to ask or what you want to know, but you have that with them, and they know that you're prepared to ask those questions. Employers are looking for the right fit. Again, don't think it's all about you. Make it about what you and the employer can do for each other. Not knowing enough about the employer, do your research. Look up their website. Make sure you know what's going on with that employer, and look and see why are you sitting there in front of that interviewee? Why do you want this job? And give them, they are very impressed when they know that you've already done your research and you've looked at their website. Ask questions of the interview. Again, ask them questions and get everything that you can get out of the interview as well. What to ask the employer? Make sure and get the scoop on the job. Get some specifics. You know, what are my shifts going to be like? And that they want to tell you that too. So make sure that everything's clear at the beginning, and that way there's no questions going on to the next process. Understand the culture. Just basically understand what you're getting yourself into and what they're getting into with you. And ask powerful questions. I mean, don't, like I said, don't just ask all about money or vacation or this or that. Ask, what the goals are with the company. Learn about it, and then ask them a little bit more about what's going on with the future of the company. The basics. Dress for success. There may be somebody out there that's a absolute Green Bay Packer fan. Don't wear your Randall Cobb shirt to an interview. Dress for success. Speak clearly. You're going to be a little bit nervous, but make sure that they can understand you and look at them. Smile and have eye contact. If they are seeing you just look down at everything, then they're not really thinking you're interested, first of all, or then you may be trying to hide something. This is one of my favorites. Be careful with personal social media. LinkedIn is a great networking tool. Facebook and Twitter can be as well, but I have to tell you, we do look at those sites. And if you're posting parties every weekend and this and that, they look at that. And so just kind of be careful on what you post out there. And then always follow up. Always, even if you're not going to really considering that job, always give a follow-up, because you don't want to burn your bridges. You want to make sure that they know that you're interested and that you are doing some follow-up with them. Thank you all for coming. Is there any questions that anybody has?
You mentioned reasons for changing jobs. What are some reasons that sound and are okay that are not, clearly like my spouse is in the military?
Well, I think some of, like, if you had to move, that would be a good thing to let them know that, you did have some moving that you needed to do. We've had some where they have went to take care of another family member, and they've had to go to a different job with that. Hours didn't work out for them at that job. Just the main thing is try not to talk bad about the past employer. And you left for a reason, but it really wasn't that you caused trouble there or they caused trouble for you. So it was just something like that was going on. There's locums. There's some people that just do locum work. They do contract work. So we know that they're going to be moving around often. So just look at things like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.